Like I said, you can find out a lot of information on YouTube if you use it to build your mind. Mr. Brain. You should check it out. Why stupid people are more dangerous than criminals. You know, ballheads, naysayers. Oh, and trolls. And this is based on a lot of psychiatrists doing some scientific studies, so take it as you want it. Stupidity for behavioral groups. Now notice, this is the one I want to be. The intelligent. Those who benefit both themselves and others. Enrich your life. And if you don't get all the money, at least you had a good life. The only problem is you might be the unfortunate. Those who cause harm while trying to help others. God knows I try not to do that. But I'd rather do that than be a bandit, those who benefit only themselves by doing anything they can to get ahead. Or the stupid, those who harm both themselves and others. Right, sweetie. Like, subscribe, comment, pass it on, share. Follow me. I'll try not to lead you astray. Of course, I have my rights to my opinions. Thanks to the Declaration of Independence, laws of nature, and nature's God, and those brave men that have fought for those concepts. God bless our troops. Remember the Marine Corps hymn. First you fight for rights and freedom, and to keep your honor clean. I'm proud to claim the title of a United States Marine. And I'm still in the militia. You guys should check it out. I thought it was funny. Maybe you won't. But check it out. Comment. It's a chapter in my book. I hope my descendants read it. Honey, you're my only one left. Nicole, my daughter. I wouldn't do this if I didn't believe in these concepts. All you can really do is try. And go down with a good heart. I've walked this path, believing it since I was a kid. I'm not going to change now. I'm not going to let society tell me box myself up, leave everybody alone. Don't get in nobody's business when the smart try to help everybody. It's the dumb people that will go into one of them other categories. I could go into being agnostic. But that would put you in the category do for yourself and kind of don't care about others, or everybody's doing it, so why shouldn't I? And you've seen me hold to these values for at least 30 years, babe. I can't alter. Probably won't. My dad and I had our difficulties, and you always have difficulties with your parents, but you should well, I don't mean you. I mean everybody should kind of listen a little bit to the old. Only, I can't convince people that if I try to give advice out of the kindness of my heart, and I just think sometimes people have to prove it to themselves, but to say this is some old crusty old man trying to tell me what to do, you can say that to my face, or people can say that to other people's face. I'm using that term. I love you with all my heart, babe. I got nothing but things around here that remind me of my family and my love for them. And so when I speak, sometimes it sounds directed at you, but it's not really meant to be. You know, try it. You might like it. If you don't like it, you can always make a change. That's what I would tell my children. Just listen to the wisdom of the old. You know, Grandpa wrote in his book about being a businessman, and that he did real well when he was a kid. Back in 1904, you know, before he became a horseshoer for the military. Read that book. He says, I want to be a blacksmith, and he went out and did it. Even though he was sent to battle in one of the biggest, baddest trench warfares you ever saw. And so to everyone out there, if you have a dream, pursue it. Nothing's stopping you, except all the naysayers, bobbleheads, and trolls telling you it won't work, can't work. You know, my God, you and your husband know how hard it is to get a college degree. 4 years. You know, if you're not dedicated to it, persistent about it, and pursue it with a passion, you would not be a pigeon coach, babe. Some cool buffalo, you know. Forgive me. You know, I wonder why my daughter thinks she's the best of the best, or everyone around me thinks that. And I know I'm always claiming to be the best of the best. But you have to have a high opinion of yourself, even to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror. And so, whatever you're doing at the moment, consider yourself the best of the best. And always work to improve and be better. And so that was always an issue of me saying, wow, you know, you could do this. Check out that birdie. I'm going to make a bird's nest for Mama on the porch. Right, sweetie? I'm getting ready to advertise my other not a sponsor. You know, it's the only thing I use. And, you know, maybe in the future these people will donate to a good cause. When I figure out all the paperwork for that 501c, you know, nothing. Yeah, just do it. It takes a lot of time. All right, sweetie, she's hiding back there, checking it out. Tell you, babe, stick to your guns. Now, everybody has different interests. And so whatever your interests are as a youth, if you want to invest, you have to find something that retains its value, appreciates at least as a fight against inflation. Most of the reason this weapon is worth more than it was. It's because of inflation. You know, compounding inflation will be the real battle of our youth's life. You know, unlike the battle flag for George Washington and our independence that gave us the Second Amendment. Where's my Second Amendment? Camera skills. Maybe I need some sort of... See, I always wanted a camera that could be drawn like this pencil. this pistol for quick draw McGraw, and because when I sit out in my backyard and listen to the nature, think I'm out on a morning adventure hunting, it's a lot like this, where you just sit and relax and keep your eyes open, looking for quality meat, you know? And hopefully you have a good hunting dog with you that'll go jump in the lake and get that duck. I don't know whether Loki would. You know, it takes a lot of training to train a good dog. You know, Loki's a smart boy. But I just thought I'd throw that in because I'm trying to figure out how to get a video out for y'all, and we'll see how well this flies on. Stick to your guns. Stick to your principles, and most of mine are based on Old Glory, red, white, and blue, and the truth behind the Bill of Rights. And if you don't know, the Constitution is mostly the declaration of our amendments and the rules and regulations that our government must follow in order to govern our country. And so if they say something about constitutional, I think our youth, especially young men, which I may appeal to more young men than women while making a channel, because I was a young man. I lost my photograph. I got rambling, and I do. But I'm still working on it. Appreciate y'all. I've been studying a channel called Angela Rose, if there are some ladies out there who is I believe a newer YouTuber, and she's right wing. So if you don't like right wing, you may have to look beyond that and look at what she's doing, how she's done some of the different methods of making a channel. Now, my channel's about trying to help you learn how to do a channel, so I do kind of study the channels that are out there that are successful, because if you want to be successful, you should emulate those that have had success rather than those that haven't. And so be one of the intelligent people. Try to help yourself and others. And once in a while you'll pull a blunder, because sometimes by trying to help others you make a mistake. But I believe that the powers that be can forgive me for that. I may be the only one left with a neighbor fence, so that the inhabitants of both sides can at least communicate. And I don't know why people want to be isolated with privacy fences. Enrich your life is enjoying the camaraderie of human relationships, not isolating yourself. And I'm often questioned, I want to say canceled, but only 40% of the time. 66% of the people, at least, will give you 30 seconds. And that's one thing about my videos, I make them too long, and so whether I could keep your interest for any length of time is a challenge. But it's a beautiful morning. And I'm reflecting because I just turned 66 on May 1st, 2025. You know, it is a challenge to have survived the planet from your starting point, wherever it may be. Great-great-great-grandpa taking the family up the Illinois River and settle in the wilderness. It's in Grandpa's book, you know. And, you know, just be happy where you're at. You know, everybody starts at zero, including a lot of our youth. And then it gets passed on. Some people make better, luckier investments. But the ones that hold their value, stay in the vault, and are passed on through generations are assets, not junk. The squirrels are playing tag. It's cool. Can you enjoy that? Or do you just blow it off and say, what the heck? Right, sweetie. Check it out. Yeah. I won't use it on you. So you know, this is my preparation for 20 years of weakness. Physically, I am unable to do what I could when I was a young man. It's pretty hard on me. For y'all guys out there, you know, making a YouTube channel is what all the rich are doing. I've shown shows of these guys with all kinds of money making videos. Why the heck do you think they're doing it? Because it doesn't work? Or because they have the finances to make it work easier than I do, or the youth of America? What's going on? Poor little girl. She's a doll. Curious. Curious. I'm sure all the youth are curious. And to my daughter, you know, if you think about it, I built all this before I inherited the generational wealth. I'm the only one in my peer group, and you know, talking with me and your mother, that can handle anything and have extra to help others. And you know, I'm pretty generous with that. But if they don't want to take my advice, or I know you had to drive the ugliest car and win the contest for the ugliest car at school, but you always had a car. Because your old man kept it running. Because it was too expensive to pay anybody else, and I could save that money on the weekend. And I did it for everybody. I haven't changed my plan. And if it's embarrassing, because I've got an old chair in my front room. It was Dad's favorite chair. Mama reupholstered it with crushed velvet. And Mama wouldn't use anything that wasn't made of solid wood. You know, and I'll show it off. You know, that girl that visited my house goes, wow. Said my wife had all the colors going on. Well, you know, I have a lot of stuff. And I just found stuff that looked good together. Not too bad for a frugal old man. And you, of all people, know that I haven't spent very many dimes in this front room. You know, I had to have it. $15, $10. Won the stereo for being the best salesman. Got that TV free for doing my job at work. You know, I think that's pretty classy. Found that free. You know, I paid for this one $20. You know, then I fixed it up. You know, I'm gonna work on this one. Yeah, Mama wants it. Yeah, nice old lamp. Brass. You know, works well with the switch on the wall with this old house. You know, that's how they were designed. You walk in the door and poof, let there be light. This baby's $75 at the store. You know, those are free to me. The plant, maybe, I bought it for Mom, $8. You know, this baby's, you know, if you got old electric outlets, this baby's pretty nice. You've got a foot button. You know, how do you like that? Them apples. You don't have to spend 10 grand on your living room to impress people that never come over. It doesn't bother me a bit to brag about how I spent nothing to impress other people. And you think about it, we did a lot. I was always out playing. And I haven't had to worry about the finances. And I hope when you're old and decrepit you can sit out in your backyard with your buddy rabbit and check out your handiwork. Well, I try to make it better for you. I don't know if this is even gonna... I got this light, but it, you know, isn't bright enough. I don't know. Bad camera skills. But what the heck, you get my idea. She enjoys the yard. Well, you know, I don't know if age means anything, but I would promote this product. I try to show... Well, I'm satisfied. Kills germs, even COVID-19. 10-second sanitation. Clean and great smelling. Not a sponsor. Tell you that, you know, I did sell them when I was young, but that sucker's from 1988 when I was selling them. And I found it in a trash can for free. But it'll do the trick. Comes with a long cord. Yeah. Plug it in. Vacuum hardwood floor. You got a rabbit that'll let you vacuum this close to her? Yeah, that's about what she'll take. For all the people that won't show up and enjoy my home with me. But you know, still didn't hurt to try. In my softball shirt for my daughter's softball team. She's good. Now, I'll use my favorite sterilizing product. Not a sponsor. Kirby's not a sponsor. But you know, I recommend going out and finding an old one. Free in the garbage. $34 worth of parts. Would have cost. Well, the cheapest I sold it for in 1988 was $464, asking $19.95. And so you know, I still look at it as $2,000 with 3% inflation for 40 years. I have no idea what they sell a new Kirby for. They hold their value. Or even if they're in business. Personally, I would never walk by one in the garbage. I'd pick it up, walk down the street, be embarrassed, everybody go, oh, what a fool. And I got money in the bank. Cheap, cheap, cheap. No, frugal. Well, that might be all for now, because as a man, I've turned into the domestic partner. I have to go make lunch for my beautiful wife. Like, subscribe, comment, Youth Truth Podcast. Share. Comment. Don't be a naysayer, bobblehead, or troll. Thanks, guys. Appreciate those who do watch. Start the race. Start your channel. It'll pay off, maybe. But I'm having fun. Right, sweetie? She's been hanging out under the wheelbarrow during the night. 'Cause spring must be in the air. I'll run the rototiller, get rid of them weeds. And them flowers are gonna bloom. The peaches are gonna be there, 'cause I'm sure there's little baby peaches. And maybe we'll have some birds in the nest. Especially those that go, cheep, cheep, cheep. No, frugal.